In our life, we always faced by the problem of scarcity. Actually, this is the main problem that economists has along these days. The fluctuation of numbers in these stickers actually explains how scarcity exists in our daily life. And the next section, I will explain you what factors are influencing the scarcity itself and how do we make our choice. Now I'm going to explain about one-person economy. Let's say there's a plane crash and there's only one survivor named Bill. Bill is stranded in an island and therefore he has to choose the best alternative to fulfill his wants and needs. Because he's alone and the resource of the island is very limited. In order to satisfy his basic wants and needs, he has to choose one, what to produce. Actually, Bill is the only one on the island and he has a very limited resource. And it means that the second one, he has to see the possibility of producing something with that is limited resource. Number 3 that he has to consider is actually how to consume them. Choosing what to produce and considering whether the possibility is good or not to produce it and to consume it, and then to consider how to consume it. Is the consumption itself will satisfy his needs? That's 3 things that he has to consider. The next thing he has to consider is the opportunity cost. What is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost actually is the best alternative that we have to give up in order to get something. For example, Bill decided to take a nap. Usually he works at 2 p.m. until 4 p.m. to gather food for his dinner. But actually today he decided to take a nap because he was very tired. So what's the opportunity cost of this activity that he actually did? Well, taking a nap is free and gathering food is also free in this island. But actually the opportunity cost of taking a nap is not having dinner, because by choosing to take a nap he missed his opportunity to gather food, and because he didn't gather food, he doesn't have his dinner for today. Now I'm going to explain about specialization. Let's say if there's another survivor in the plane crash and also came to the island, and her name is Colin. Colin and Bill have decided that their activity in that island basically just to cut logs for fire and gather bushels of food for their food. And Colin can cut 10 logs per day and gather 10 bushels of food per day. Meanwhile, Bill can only cut 4 logs per day and gather 8 bushels of food per day. Let's see the monthly products. Without trade happen between Colin and Bill, actually Colin can produce 150 logs per month and 150 bushel of foods every month. It's because Colin only spent 15 days to cut logs and 15 days to gather bushels of food. Meanwhile, Bill has to spend 20 days in order to produce 80 logs of wood and 10 days in order to produce 80 bushels of food. We can see that the total of their production actually 230 of logs of wood and 230 bushels of food. Now let's see what happened if they specialize themselves into particular product. Now after specialization, they've decided that Colin only needs to produce 270 logs of wood and produce only 30 bushels of food. Meanwhile, Bill produced no wood at all, but produced only 240 bushels of food. It makes sense. Why? Because if we see this table, actually Bill is not good at cutting logs, and it is more efficient if he spend all of his time in gathering bushels of food. And if we see the total number of the production after specialization exists, actually it also increased from 230 to 270. It means that after the specialization, they both can produce more than if they do it on their own. The last table here show what if Colin needs 170 logs of wood and 170 bushels of food every month. Meanwhile, Bill only needs 100 logs of wood and 100 bushels of wood every month. Actually, this number actually already greater than this table, which the specialization haven't existed yet. So the conclusion is the existence of specialization actually helped them produce more with the same amount of resource. This is Production Possibility Frontier or PPF. Actually, the graph is represent a combination of all products and services that a society can produce if all the resource used at optimum level. So, in this case, we use y-axis as capital goods and x-axis as consumer goods. Remember that capital goods is goods that we use to produce consumer goods. Meanwhile, consumer goods are for consumptions only. Okay, this is we can see that there are point D here. Point D actually under the possibility frontier. It's far inside the possibility frontier, which actually representation of inefficiency. So it is much better if the dot itself is closer to the frontier itself. And the point G actually is the condition that cannot possibly achieved by this nation. We can also see the opportunity cost from this PPF. For example, the opportunity cost of producing capital goods is lower than the production of consumer goods, because when we improve our production of capital goods from 550 to 800, it only costs us the reduction of consumer goods from 1,300 to 1,100. Before we go further to more in-depth concepts of economics, just remember the study of economics basically is about people locating their resource, and the allocation of resource itself actually based on the concept of scarcity and choice. So my name is Erik Sentosa from MBA ITB, and I wish you luck in studying economics.